Now, Dr. Cherno Omar Barry, now Professor Barry, has decided to publish a book called Cracks in the Mirror. In the book, Dr. Barry outlined a lot of issues. Among them is how he was detained at the NIA on Trump-up charges. Dr. Barry and I discussed at length about issues of governance, corruption, and how some issues regarding official state secrets cannot be divulged. Senior members of the opposition United Democratic Party were also detained during that critical moment in the history of the country.
Anybody who is told that your relative is arrested and taken to the NIA would not have any sleep. Because the first thoughts are, one, they would be tortured, they would be killed. And I went to the NIA immediately after, I went to the NIA in June. It was in April, 2 months earlier, that Sandeng was caught and was beaten in the NIA and was killed. I went there few days after the same people who were grouped in Sandeng were being beaten at the NIA before they were taken to court. Few days after, the heads of the UDP were caught, taken to the NIA, eventually arrested. And the NIA was notorious for all these tortures that we knew was happening. So naturally, when we were arrested, we were taken to the NIA. The first thing we were expecting that is to round us up in the middle of the night and beat us up. But I have to say that we were shocked. I'm pleasantly shocked. I knew I was there with a lot of people who were crying. They were practically thinking that it is the end of their lives. But to be honest, we have never been taken at night, beaten anywhere. We have never been taken to mosquito-infested rooms. That has not happened to us. In fact, when we came, we found that
even though we red carpet welcome.
Well, I would call it red carpet. That would be a little too much. But yes, if you compare to what the horrors that has been narrated in the past, we would say that we came more into a VIP form of treatment. Because the rooms that we were in were very big rooms. It's like a hospital room where you have a lot of mattresses on the floor, very thin mattresses on the floor. And we were allowed to sleep on those mattresses. And, we practically locked up the whole day anyway. So we have to sleep there except for the toilet. So we sleep on those mattresses. And we also observed that the windows had what we call these mosquito gauges, so that the mosquitoes will not come in. And then we had a big screen where we could watch TV, these Arabian channels, at will. So it wasn't boring, if you understand me. Yes, it's lonely. You are locked up, but you are among colleagues. You all practically know each other, except maybe for few, and you talk about a lot of things. So you kind of enjoy the company. You don't enjoy, you lose your freedom, but you are not put in the form of a torture chamber where the others have experienced, the Imam Babalis, the host of others in the past were locked up and beaten in dark alleys. No. I didn't even know what Bamba Dinka meant when I was in an NIA. I didn't see Bamba Dinka at all.
How come to escape this rough treatment? Were you reciting something, or you had some special, prayer that, made the officer to look the other way and then, spared you? This is unbelievable. Maybe you are trying not to make your family members, feel the anguish you felt when you went there. But it's completely unbelievable. Nobody goes.
The truth is, when I inquired, because I was surprised myself, when I inquired, it turns out that Yankuba Baji, the one who was then the Director General of the NIA the time we were locked up, was himself fired and locked up there and had a taste of his own medicine. So when he was reinstated as DG, he decided to renovate the area with the expectation that he could come back again as a victim. So this was the blessing in disguise. That is number one. Number two, I in particular, as an individual, accepted my fate knowing that I wasn't wrong. I didn't do anything wrong. And I accepted the fact that if anything should happen to me, which is a very difficult form of acceptance, if anything should happen to me and I was locked up in Ramadan, knowing I didn't do anything wrong, if anything should happen to me, knowing what Islam says about people who have been victims of that kind, it will be like I'm a martyr. It means as if I have been killed maybe as a result of a wrong that I have not done. And the chances are I will go to Jannah. And who doesn't want to go to Jannah? I don't want to die. But if I'm conditioned in a situation where I might die, I will accept the fate that if it should happen, then I'm going to probably get a better life in hereafter. So I think with that kind of iman, I was there, yes, as you've rightly said, I was doing my prayers, I was doing my zikr, I was doing a lot of things, but I was lighthearted, knowing that it could be a possible fate for me.
Professor Cherno Omar Barry usually do not steer controversy. However, in the days after the Muslim holidays, he wrote a piece on why leaders should not be insulted. The comment drew sharp criticisms from his Facebook followers and other concerned Gambians.
Even where it is required, questioning them, putting them to be disrespectful without having to be insulting. That's all I'm saying. I mean, why do you need to put insults there? Why do you need to be distasteful in your approach to them? How is that going to help in any way? Even if they are distasteful, the best way to show a leader is distasteful and is wrong is maintaining a form of decorum, maintaining a form of character, maintaining a form of discipline, and I'm sure they will realize that they are the ones who have been wrong in the way they approach things. So I'm saying that you don't reciprocate by making it insulting, making it aggressive, agreeable. At the end of the day, who is winning what? Are we achieving anything in that kind of situation? It's like when you are in a hall where you are discussing to find a solution to a problem and everybody is shouting simultaneously. Are they going to ever solve the problem? Because if everybody shouts simultaneously, what it means is that the problem will never be solved because nobody is listening to the other. If a leader is corrupt, if a leader is evil, if a leader is bad, you should be brave and all times in space that is available to you without fear or favor, without being disrespectful and without being disagreeable. That is the whole point.
The people who think that you are trying to curry favor from the government because that article was definitely meant to make them, look good because it came at a time when the president and some key cabinet ministers made some controversial statement during the Banjul Muslim elders in which that did not really go down with a lot of the people. So now you came like you were on a defense mood to defend the president in another way. What do you have to say about that criticism, that the article was not meant in good faith, but you were trying to defend the government, maybe in exchange of something?
Well, it's very unfortunate that it is being a kind of a thought process, mindset that once you bring out a challenge, something that is perceived to be in favor of government, they say you are calling for favors. When you bring out something that is against government, everybody claps at you. You are a hero. You are great. You are nice. You are good. I think we should get out of that kind of mindset. Some of us have a way of approaching government, and I can assure you, we are using our ways to reach out to government where it's required, to ministers who are making pronouncements that are not correct. We are talking to them directly. There is no intermediary between us because we know we can reach out to them. And as I said, there are many ways to resolve issues. It doesn't have to be a shout in public. It doesn't have to be writing great, long, listen. Some people are good at it. Some people are not. Some people have access to these people and can talk to them. Some people don't have that access. So they use the access, the platforms they can. But we cannot keep, condemning each other by perceiving or believing that we are all calling favors. It's not because you said something in favor of government why you are calling a favor in government. Most certainly, if I want to call a favor in government, certainly I'm qualified enough to be given most of the jobs that most of those people are running. So I don't need to call a favor that is going to be biased because I know even if if it is a position of vice president or the position of president, if I'm offered that, I will be able to run it. I think I'm intellectually qualified. I'm morally qualified. I am sound in mind. I have the age. I have the background. I have the training. So I'm not saying I'm unqualified for any of the jobs in government today. However, we can also tell truth to each other without having to, pick out issues that are irrelevant and argue it out between us. Because I believe I have got a lot of other jobs I have been able to run without being in government and being completely satisfied. And I'm sure with my qualifications, I don't need to be in government to be able to live and survive, reasonably well. So I cannot be currying favors in government because I don't desperately need it. But if government needs me, certainly I will serve government, because by serving government, I serve my nation.